Hey everyone, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we have this 2022 Kia Niro and we're going to do the Taillight Tint installation for this vehicle. So as you can see, this is how it looks before doing the installation on the taillights, and this is how it looks after the installation. So the tint has PPF properties, which means it will protect the lenses from yellowing over time, as well as protect it from any small scratches or any road debris that may hit the lens. If you like the product, link for the product will be in the description below. But with that being said, let's get started with the installation video. So the tools you need in order to install the tint kit will be Slip Solution, Tack Solution, a heat gun, squeegee, and a microfiber towel. And a step-by-step guide in order to create the two solutions will be in the description below. Okay, so before starting with the installation, we need to make sure we prep the taillight. So with this one, we recommend having the trunk open, just so you could clean the inside of the taillight here. So once you have the trunk open, now we can start with prepping the taillight. So to prep it, just apply Slip Solution onto the taillight lens. And with a clean microfiber towel, start removing any contaminants that the taillight may have. So to start with the installation, we need to make sure we spray Slip Solution onto the taillight lens. That way we're able to align the film to this top section of the taillight here. So grab your Slip Solution, spray it all around on the front surface of the taillight, and also spray it onto the tint film. And then just help the film by placing it to the taillight, place it on the top, and just help it align towards the bottom. So we need to make sure we align this section first. So make sure you align the film to this edge of the taillight. Make sure it covers the top and on the edge here. So now that we have this section aligned, now all we need to do now is lift the film carefully and apply Tack Solution underneath and on top of the film. Hold it in position with one hand, and then with the other one start tacking it down. That way we secure this piece. We need to secure this section first. That way we're able to stretch the film and work it all around this curve here. So tack this whole section down. Make sure everything is still aligned. So if you need to adjust it, lift it carefully and align it. And then make sure you remove all the solution behind the film. And then once you're done tacking down, double check and see if the film is secured to this section of the taillight. Once you see that it's good to go, now we could work on with the rest of the film. So with this one, we're going to need to apply Slip Solution again. That way we're able to align the film and stretch it to this curve. So apply Slip Solution and apply it on the tint film. Place it back down and make sure it's aligned and just stretch it to match the design of the curve. So it's only a light stretch that you need to do. Okay, so now that we have this piece aligned, hold it in place. Grab your Tack Solution, lift the film carefully and start applying Tack Solution. Hold it in place and start tacking the film down. So once you finish aligning this middle section here, now we move on to installing the remaining piece of the film here. So with this one, just make sure everything is still aligned on this edge and make sure that the film reaches up to this bottom edge of the taillight. So once you have it aligned, lift it carefully and just finish off by applying Tack Solution underneath and on top of the film. Grab your squeegee and just finish off the remaining piece here. And you may encounter some small fingers on the edge here because of this small curve. To remove these small fingers, all you need to do is apply Tack Solution and a little bit of heat, and then with your squeegee you're able to tack them back down. But for right now we're going to focus on just securing this whole section and making sure we remove any solution that's still behind the film. Okay, that should be good. And now we're just going to apply Tack Solution, apply heat to seal this edge here, and also any fingers that are still coming across the edge here. So apply Tack Solution on the areas that need to be tacked down still. And with your heat gun, start applying heat, and then we're going to use our microfiber towel to help it tack down to the curve. Okay, so now that you finished tacking down this whole section, make sure before we move on to the next piece, make sure that the film isn't lifting. So double check and see. And once you ensure that everything's good to go, we can move on to the next installation, which would be the inside piece here. Okay, so now we're moving on to installing the piece that goes on the inside of the taillight here. So with this one, apply Slip Solution onto the taillight and Slip Solution onto the tint film. And with this one, the way you want to go about it is you want to align this piece here to the top edge here. So I'll show you where exactly you need to align it. just so it matches where you ended up installing the top piece here. So let's place it for now, and right now it should align right on top here. Okay, so this is the section where you need to align this piece of the film on this section here. So just apply slip solution around that area, and make sure your tint film still has solution as well. And you're just starting from the edge where you left off. So make sure you align it, and it should cover all of this section here. So roughly around there, just like that. And make sure as you go along the curve that everything is aligned. That way you have full coverage on this side and full coverage on this end. Okay, so now that we have it aligned on the top section here, all we need to do is make sure everything else is still aligned on this side here. So to secure this piece, all we need to do is apply tack solution. So lift it carefully and apply tack solution underneath and on top of the film. Hold it in position with one hand, and with the other one just start tagging down with your squeegee. And just make sure that it's still aligned as you tack down the film. So it should be tacked down here. Align it, tack it down, align it, tack it down. So just work your way on just aligning and tacking down each section. And then with this piece here, just make sure it follows the curve. And then on the lower section here, we're going to do a light stretch, just a small one, just in order to cover this section of the tail light. So for right now, we're just going to focus on this piece. To align it, just apply slip solution again, just in case this area got dry. Place it back down, make sure it's still aligned. Dry this area up in case you still need to move it, and it should be good. And now just apply tack solution and just start tacking down this whole curve section here. So help it tack down with the curve. Now we have this piece secured. All we need to do now is lift this piece, make sure it's still aligned, and just stretch it up to this edge here. So dry this area and start stretching it. And this section of the film goes tucked inside here to cover the inside of the light. So lift it, apply slip solution, tuck the film inside, and then stretch. Now that everything is aligned and tacked down, all we need to do now is secure it. So apply tack solution, grab your squeegee, hold it in place here, and just start securing this whole section. Okay, and now that this whole piece is secured, now we can move on with installing the rest of the film on this side. So to finish it off, just apply tack solution and just help the film tack down to the curve here. So lift the film carefully, apply tack solution, and just start little by little helping it tack down to the curve. And any small fingers that you may come across, we just apply tack solution and a little bit of heat, and they should all tack down. Just make sure beforehand, tack everything down, remove any solution, because once you do that method, applying tack solution and heat, you're basically sealing the whole film. So you want to remove any solution that's still behind. So now we could go ahead and seal and remove all the fingers that are on this edge. So just apply tack solution, grab your heat gun, and apply heat all around this side edge. Okay, and with your microfiber towel, just start helping tack down the film and just removing any excess solution that might still be underneath the film here. And you would just rinse and repeat this whole process here until you remove the fingers. And then once you're done removing all the fingers, you can move on with the last step, which would be post-heating this whole section of the tail light. So now we just need to secure this whole tail light piece. So to secure it, we would post-heat. So to post-heat, just apply tack solution all around the tail light. So wherever we overlap the film and any edges that are still lifting, we're just going to finish it off by securing it and adding heat all around those areas. And all you're gonna need is your heat gun. Make sure you focus on the edges and anywhere where you still see small fingers. And after you apply heat all around the tail light, use your microfiber towel just to help it tack down. And the microfiber towel will also help you absorb any solution that's still hidden behind the film. And then once you're done with this section of the tail light, we move on to the lower piece. Okay, so before we move on with the installation for this lower section, we need to prep it. So to prep it, just apply slip solution onto the lens and grab your microfiber towel and start removing any contaminants that this lens may have. So we're going to start with this installation here. So with this one, just apply slip solution onto the lens the slip solution onto the tint film. You want to make sure you apply it right on the edge to cover the clear surface of the light here. So make sure this piece is aligned. Lift the film carefully and start applying tack solution underneath and on top of the film. Hold it in position with one hand, and with the other hand just start tacking it down. And then with the rest of the film, just help it tack down on this side here. Now that we finished installing this piece, now we're going to go ahead and start with the inner section here. Okay, so when it comes to installing the next piece, which would be the inside curve here, with this one, we recommend doing it the dry installation method. What that means is just no solution required, just making sure when you align it from one end and slowly work your way on installing the rest of the film to the lens here. So grab your piece and start from one end. So align it there and make sure you're covering the curve here, and slowly, little by little, work your way around the area. Just make sure that you're tacking and covering everything on the red part here. So just help it tack down with your finger. If you need to adjust it, just lift it carefully and adjust the film. And then once this piece is secured, just continue on with the rest. So lift and align it and just install it as you go. And then for the curved area here, same thing. Just tack it down with your finger. Make sure you're covering everything. Lift it and just align it. So just take your time, align it, and then just finish off with the rest. And just finish off on the top. Make sure you're covering the curve here and tacking down on the top piece here. So just lift, align it, and tack it down. And now with your squeegee, just start tucking in inside the light and tacking down any film that's still lifting. And then afterwards, we would apply heat just to help the adhesive activate faster and the film won't lift. So grab your heat gun and apply a little bit of heat around the areas that are still lifting. And now we move on to this last piece here. Okay, so for this section here, we're going to do the wet method. So just apply slip solution to the lens and slip solution to the tint film. And with this one, we need to make sure we align it to the curve of the design of the reflector here. So align it, make sure you place it and the film doesn't fall off. So align it here. Let's tack down this piece first. Apply tack solution. Okay, so now that we apply tack solution, make sure everything is still aligned and start tacking this section down. And then just continue on with the rest of the film. Make sure it's aligned to the design of the reflector here. So like that, tack it down, and you would just continue with the rest. Make sure everything is still aligned, tack down. And then just to help with the tacking down process, you can also apply heat. That way we help the adhesive on the film activate faster. So apply tack solution, grab your heat gun and start applying heat around the areas we need to tack down. So for this one, apply heat around here. Apply tack solution once again, hold it in position and tack it down. The same steps we do here for the rest of the film. So just align it. If you need to stretch it just a little bit and tack it down. Apply heat and then tack it down again. Apply tack solution and just squeegee to tack down. And then just rinse and repeat the steps. Just stretch it, tack down, and stretch it and align it. And it's just continuing where we left off, helping it tack down. So just hold it in position, apply tack solution, and then just apply heat to tack it down. The last thing to do before we finish it off is just make sure we apply tack solution, and with our squeegee just help tack down the edges that still need to be tacked down, and apply heat if needed on the curved areas just to help the film tack down and secure it. So just grab your heat gun and start applying heat. Now that we're still on this area here, the last thing would be to post heat the whole film. That way we help the adhesive activate faster and it doesn't lift over time. So just post heat the whole thing once you finish with this. Okay, so that concludes the installation video for the Taillight tints for the 2022 Kia Niro. We hope that this video helped you guys out with the installation. If it did, don't forget to drop a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe and turn on that notification bell. That way you don't miss any upcoming installation videos. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.